Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can tell by the title of the video already, we are going to be discussing the Europa League. It is back. Celtic play Copenhagen tomorrow night over in Denmark in a game which sees us in the last 32 of the Europa League. A fantastic position to be in, and this year I'm filled with so much more confidence than what it was last year. Last year we took on Valencia at this stage of the competition. I was living it up in Benidorm, smacking my head over the side of a lift. If you've not seen the video, then you don't understand, but if you have, then well done. I was having the week of my life, but this week, sadly, I'm not in Denmark, but I'm here and I'm going to be watching the game. I'm going to preview the game for you. I'm going to review the game, give my predictions, give everything that I have towards it, a little bit of insight, and hopefully you all can enjoy. And if you do enjoy, you know what to do. Hit like and subscribe. It takes the channel and the video a long way, so I really do appreciate any form of support. But Celtic, after a marvellous group stage, marvellous to say the least, finishing top of the group, drawn against Copenhagen in a tie, which on paper has us, in a very comfortable position. This is a side where I want to treat, Copenhagen with as much respect as possible. A top team in Denmark, being one of the top teams over there for a long, long time. I want to treat them with as much respect as possible when talking about them, but on paper, Celtic are solid to be the favourites to take the tie. There's no reason why we shouldn't be, considering you weigh up the two teams heading into this. You look at Celtic domestically and in Europe so far this season. You look at Copenhagen domestically and in Europe so far this season. There is one team who has been the better performers, the winners, and just ultimately, the favourites for the game. And that's us, that's Celtic in this situation. But we know what the story is with Celtic in Europe, usually year upon year. We can be very, very disappointing, bitterly disappointing, to the point where you don't even want to bother. But this year they have gave us so much to sing and shout about. It's been one to remember. Obviously, I was there in Rome when we beat Lazio. And I will never forget, and we're hoping for more of that as we head away from home first this week. Now, I'm very happy we're getting the away leg first. One of the advantages, of course, of finishing top of our group, while Copenhagen finished second in theirs. You get to get the away tie out the way, and then have to, assess the situation and then perform in a home leg. So we could be having a very different conversation next week. I could be more confident, I could be less confident, we could be very desperate and anxious heading into the game, or we can think the tie is done. I have no idea how this could potentially go tomorrow night, because with the way that it's been built as Celtic being favourites, and the kind of story behind Copenhagen moving into this, you'd think we could batter them tomorrow. But I don't want to say that. I don't want to come out and say Celtic are going to batter Copenhagen tomorrow, because it's probably a little far off. It's probably not going to be the case, as away performances in Europe historically have shown. But if you do look at how we performed this year, the Rennes draw, the Lazio win, I don't really want to take the Cluj game into account, because we did put out, a B-Tech side. We were playing a lot of young boys and stuff. We knew we were through. We knew we'd top the group. There's really nothing to play for. And we had the cup final in and around then, so we did kind of rest up in that. I don't want to take that into consideration too much, although it was a defeat. But if you look at those other two games, we were fantastic away from home and probably should have won both of them. So yes, historically away from home we haven't been great, but there is no reason to think that there should be confidence in the team heading over to Copenhagen tomorrow night, because those games prove us all wrong. They took us by surprise, and Neil Lennon, well, he was the mastermind behind some of the greatest football I have seen in a Celtic shirt. And it wasn't even great football. It was just a great moment, wasn't it? I can't kid myself on when I was saying that. But you know what? He masterminded a result over there, and it was absolutely tremendous. Anyway, on to the game itself tomorrow. Enough backstory to it. Copenhagen, the opponents, let's talk about them for a little bit. Copenhagen head into this game second in their division. They are currently 7 points behind the league leaders, Midtjylland. I'm never sure if I pronounce it right, but you know the team I'm talking about. Rangers beat them in the qualifiers for the Europa League earlier this season. And knocked them out. Copenhagen did though manage to get through. They're second in the table, if I can speak. They've just returned from their winter break, where they lost to the team who are second bottom of the table. They've also just sold their top goal scorer for £4 million to Astana, obviously a team we know very well over the past few years. And ultimately their recent form, if you take the winter break out of consideration, has not been great. Hence the reason they are 7 points behind in second place. So Celtic, on the other hand, domestically, we know what we have been doing recently. We have been disposing of opponents with ease at times. We have looked incredibly good. We're scoring goals for fun. I think in this season we've scored the most goals in Europe in domestic league competition. we have been absolutely tremendous, a joy to watch as of recent, whereas Copenhagen are struggling to get back into the swing of things, and probably not in a position where they want to be in. They want to be top of their league every year as well. A similar situation with Celtic and Rangers. Copenhagen, one of the giant teams in Denmark, expected to go and win the league every year. This year, falling a bit behind. So two teams maybe on a different end of the spectrum at the current minute in time, with Celtic flying and Copenhagen just trying to find their footing. So another reason why Celtic are being considered the favourites for this game, as I touched on, they've just sold their top scorer. It's not a team that's got great quality in players. You have a look around the squad, and yes, us Celtic fans are not going to be, well, if you are, I respect you and enjoy it. Many of us Celtic fans, including my good self, are not, experts on the Danish game. We don't know much about the players over there. Denmark's team, though, it's not a team you look at and you can identify many players. I've still got Rasmus Fogh Jensen in there, who's been there quite a while now. That's the one name I recognised. But around the park, there's not a lot of names. I've got Bjelland, or whatever you say it. It just looks like Bjelland, doesn't it? So that's how we know that one. It's not a team you can identify a lot of good players. But structurally, they'll probably be a sound team. I imagine they'll have a tactic that will frustrate Celtic. I can kind of see them sitting in deep when they look at, how Celtic have performed in Europe this season. We know Neil Lennon has been a lot more practical in sending the team forward. He's acted on it. He's really emphasised the kind of best parts of the team, the strength of the team, and that's getting the ball forward and scoring goals to players like Edouard and Forrest and El Yunusi, who have been absolutely tremendous in Europe. So he's acted on that. He's done really well, and honestly, I think that Copenhagen might look at that and sit back a little bit more, making the game difficult for Celtic, but maybe not offering a lot of threat to the Celtic defence, who I do have a lot of faith in, because if you look at how the Celtic defence have played so far in the Europa League group stage, it has been quite a decent showing from them. There's not been a lot of howlers. Julien, for example, the Lazio game away from home in particular, I think he saved us from, a good 2 or 3 goals being scored into us. His performance was absolutely tremendous. So I think the defence should know how to act. Look, if we just build on our group stage performances, there's absolutely no reason why we can't walk out of Copenhagen tomorrow night with a positive result behind us to take to Parkhead and get the tie done, seeing us through to the last 16. It'll be a 1-up on the stage we got to last year. Obviously, Valencia knocked us out at this point of the competition. So to build on that and get to the last 16 would be absolutely tremendous. It would be mind-blowing, and hopefully we can make it as far in the competition as possible. On to Celtic, though. The big dilemma and the headache for Neil Lennon is, and this is the question, what is he going to do about the team selection? What is he going to do about the system? What are we going to go with? Are we going to stick to the 3-5-2, which we have seen a lot of recently in our footballing, or are we going to go back to the 4-2-3-1, which saw us through all of the group stage and with a lot of success? The 4-2-3-1, obviously, with just Edouard up front, El Yunusi and Forrest on the wide areas of the park, Christie in behind. That saw us a lot of success. It got us to this point in the competition with what looked like ease at points. So are we going to go back to that for the European football? Are we going to stick with this 3-5-2? Experiment with it in Europe? If there was any team to do it against and bring it into Europe without testing it beforehand, it probably would be against Copenhagen, because with all due respect, it's one of the easiest ties we could have got. But for me, I would hope to see Neil Lennon stick to the 4-2-3-1 tomorrow, and here is for why. I sounded like Bryn for Gavin and Stacey there, didn't I? The reason I'd stick with that is just purely down to the success it had in the group stage, and also I just feel like it brings a lot more confidence to the team, a lot more structure for these bigger games. Copenhagen will, present much more of a challenge than what we get on a weekly basis here in the Premiership. That's just the truth. As much as I love the Scottish Premiership, Copenhagen are far better quality than the likes of Hamilton, Ross County and St Johnstone. To go in without really testing it in Europe beforehand is a risk, and we don't have a clue how Edouard and Griffiths and Cham and all the rest of it will fit in, with no kind of in European football, but with no kind of wing support as well. The first time because obviously you get the fullbacks, but are they good enough in Europe to do the defending and the attack? I don't know. It's just not been tested. I'm not too sure. So I would like to see us go back to the 4-2-3-1 tomorrow night, and I do have a feeling that's what Neil Lennon will do. Also, it just gives us the option of, giving Edouard the run up top himself, and if we have to change it, we can still bring on Griffiths and maybe bring on a bit of motivation towards the end of the game. For me, the team follows. I think Fraser Forster will start in goals. Now, the right-back conversation is difficult because El Ahmed's still not fit. Frimpong, yes, was back in the squad, but I don't know if he's ready to start, and I'm not even sure. He should be registered now to play in this competition, so he could play. But I have a feeling it's going to be Moritz Bauer starting at right-back tomorrow night. I don't want to say that, but I think he'd rather do that than stick Ayer out there, because the Ayer and Julian partnership has to remain at centre-half for me. So Ayer and Julian at centre-halves with Greg Taylor at left-back, well, that's if he can play. There's not been a lot said on him as to whether or not he'll be back after going off against Aberdeen. If it's not Greg Taylor, then it's going to be Johnny Hayes. So we're potentially looking at Hayes and Bauer at the fullbacks tomorrow. Oh, great, fantastic. That's my prediction, but hopefully it is Greg Taylor. In the midfield, I think it'll be Brown alongside Callum McGregor again, with El Yunusi coming back in and starting left. If he can't last the full game, then yes, we change system, we change players. We've got plenty of great options anyway. We don't have to worry too much. El Yunusi on the left, Forrest on the right, and I think, you know, out of Encham and Christie, who starts? Because Encham's been the better player of form as of late, as of recent. So maybe he gets the start, but then Christie, obviously, he's been fantastic all season in Europe as well. I think Encham might start the game, and if so, maybe he sits a bit deeper and we play the kind of three centre mids. I think Encham will start, but Christie will get on at some point very early in the second half, and then Eduardo up front. It's a very hard one to predict tomorrow in terms of fitness, in terms of system, what is going to happen. But for the score prediction, well, I'm feeling confident. I feel like we could do it, but I'm going to be kind of civil about it. I'm going to say a 1-0 Celtic win tomorrow in Copenhagen, but I think we should be able to get this done over the course of the 2 legs. Let me know your thoughts to my thoughts. Let me know your opinions and everything in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe if you have enjoyed the video, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be very happy when we review the game. Hail, hail, and I'll see you all next time.